Do you have any idea how real the struggle was to get this stream up and going right now? I'm not even kidding. Oh my gosh. I might just take a moment to breathe. Hope everything's working okay. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Catacombs Café, where we take a bite out of paranormal romance books. I am your host, Liv Miles. I'm a paranormal romance author whose books you can read simply by scanning the QR code located in the upper right corner of your screen. You'll see a menu for channels which says free books for my reviewers or something along those lines, and I'm sure you will figure out exactly what to do. Hi, Billy. Thank God. Thank God someone's seeing me, because that was a struggle. Today I have 2 books selected for you, which are displayed on the screen. And once we finish reading the first chapters of those books, I'm gonna go ahead and rant about something, because I'm feeling spicy. I've had something on my mind, and I'm gonna do my best to relay to you what I'm concerned about. And specifically, it has to do with the pitfalls of jumping into the world of publishing as a new author, what kind of scammers and rip-off artists might take advantage of you, and how to avoid getting taken for a ride. I've been publishing books, well, I've been submitting short stories, poetry, and various works of literature for publication both in TradPub and traditional publishing in varying amounts since about 14 years old. So, over 20 years now, and I have a lot to say about this topic, a lot of hard-earned knowledge that was not easy to get, but it might be easier for you if you just listen to me for like 5 minutes. But you're gonna wait for that, because I have 2 first chapters to read to you first, and if you happen to enjoy the books that we read today on stream, you can get them for free simply by scanning the QR codes located in our specials menu in the center of the screen, and you will be prompted to download them. Additionally, what else do we have today? There was something else we had today that wasn't there. Spicy Rant, 2 books. It'll come to me. Now, real quick, it's time for the most entertaining segment of them all. I need to tell social media that I exist, so one moment while I go ahead and take care of that. I have X pulled up first, so you know what? We'll just do it. We'll just take it. Next, we are going to do Discord, because you're still my favorite, even if I didn't click on y'all first. Boom. Let's see. Goodness, I didn't even include the actual link in there. I just kind of dropped it in there with my YouTube handle. Perhaps I should change that. It's like, don't leave us to do it by ourselves. What are you doing? I trust you to be competent humans, god damn it. Whatever, I will get the link, because that is just the professional thing to do, is it not? So how are you guys doing? While I'm puttering around, letting the world know about me, glorious me, I'd really like to know about you. Boom. X done, Discord done. We should probably do a face bag. A book of faces. The face of the book. Sounds cursed. Probably is. More ill and more distemper has been brought to the world by Facebook probably than by anything else. So, that's probably not a lie. Alright. Let's just go ahead and do this stuff. I'm glad I bothered to pre-write things, because hop diggity damn. There's just always so much technical stuff. And you know what's funny is that YouTube doesn't even allow you to tag your stream while you're, like, before you stream. So now I have to go back into YouTube Studio if I want it to show up in search engines at all, and I gotta do that manually. That's rather silly. YouTube, darling, please fix this. All right. Boom. Next. Post. Done. All right, I think we finished the social media task. Now, anybody? Let's start from the bottom. Let's start from the bottom. I see a bunch of messages. Captain Erasmus Storm says, "This is a nice surprise." Yes, it is. Hi, Captain. You made it. Acheron Sticks, I'm here. Yes, you are, sir, and I am damn happy about it. Welcome. Hey world, live streaming, get in here. Thank you, Captain. I appreciate you. I really do. Nightbot, oh how I loathe you. Yeah, Nightbot, man. We gotta have a talk with that guy. Like, see if you can talk some sense into him, because I've had no luck, okay? Energy to After! Hi, Panda. I'm very glad you decided to show up. We got a full house tonight, guys. We got the cream of the crop. Chef's fucking kiss. I hate when people do that, but you know what? I'm doing it. Today, I'm feeling like exceptions. I'm feeling exceptional. Exceptionally spicy. Yeah, I've got a rant planned for you today about the scams that, could befall new authors, especially people who are first introducing themselves into this crazy world of publishing. And I have 2 books that I'm going to read for you today. So without further ado, you know what? Should we just skip the YouTube tags? Just raw dog it? Be like, yeah, we don't even care. All right, I will put it with this for 30 seconds. And if I can't get my shit together in 30 seconds, then we'll do it live. Fuck it. In the words of that luminary, Bill O'Reilly. All right, here we are. I'm in my dashboard. I'm live. I'm me. Yes. Click it. Don't kill it. Just click it. We have our description. Looking good. I'm feeling like that Austin Powers moment where he's like, yes. No. Oh, I hate techie stuff, guys. I really do, because I feel like I'm always 1 second away from just smashing a wrecking ball through it. All right, where is my list of little tagaroos? And we will get started. There you are. Organization is just not my strong suit. I wish I was an organized person. You ever wish that you just had your shit together once in a while? I do. I so do. I will catch up with chat in just a moment. It's just, I know me, and I can't handle the multitasking at this moment in time. Oh, and my thumbnail's not even added on there. What is with you, man? What is with your ass? We'll fix that. That's kind of important. Catacombs Café. Thumbnail. PNG. Boop. Open. We're done. Get it. Playlist, yes. Why can't I do this before the stream? Like I said, it doesn't let you. So I have to make you sit here for this thrilling admin work. It's not made for kids. Don't age restrict it. It's not AI. No altered content. Allow the chapters. Tag it! Tag it, you son of a bitch! Done? English. We're speaking English, right? Good. Just want to check. You never know anymore. Entertainment, fine. If this entertains you for some ungodly reason. Okay, save. I think we're almost a competent human right now. Okay. Tis a vibe. Captain Erasmus Storm says, tis indeed. Hark that. Energy to hamster. Oh. Acheron Stick says, feeling extra today. Nice. Oh, you have no idea, sir. Absolutely. We are gonna get spicy. Energy to Hamster. Do you ever plan on live streaming about science and or philosophy and or mathematics out of curiosity? I do tend to yammer through that neighborhood from time to time. Mathematics, probably not, because you will not take anything valuable from me when it comes to math. That is not my neck of the woods. But you know, I'm keeping this stream centered on paranormal romance books purely because I write paranormal romance books, and you can download them. But for free, you can download 3 of them for free, 4 of them for free by scanning the QR code located in the upper right corner of the screen. Always be selling. But I'm probably not gonna have a stream devoted to math and science because, despite the fact that I love, science and philosophy, not you math, it just wouldn't be on brand. Captain Erasmus Storm says, I like your outfit. Thank you. Me too. I actually got this scarf from Michael's craft store, and it's my daughter's, but I borrowed it because I was like, this would just look so good in my dress. And like the dress underneath it, it has too much, it's too pulchritudinous, if you know what I'm saying. And I was just like, man, we can't go full e-thought, we gotta have some class, or at least pretend to. We need the veneer of class. Samantha Saddam. Hey, how are you doing? I don't know you, I don't think. Maybe I do. But welcome. My name is Liv Miles, and I am happy you are here. We're about to read the first chapter of 2 paranormal romance books, and then I'm gonna rant to you about the pitfalls of publishing for new authors. So if you like books, want to publish books, and you're thinking about dipping your toe into those waters, stay tuned because I have a lot of valuable information for you, and a whole lot of rage. Acheron Stick says, we could schedule something around streams and kids to go over tech stuff for you. I've been doing this long enough that I know most of it by now. Oh, God bless you, dude. God bless you, good sir. I would love to talk tech with you sometime. And as you're watching, if you have any suggestions for me, feel free to let me know. Like, I might see it in the comments, and I do rewatch these streams so I can put timestamps on things. But yeah, just feel free to let me know, drop it in the Discord, whatever you gotta do, because I am a rookie. I'm a rookie when it comes to streaming, and it's the only way I learn. So just hit me. I'd love to be nailed. All right, now. All right, let's get this show on the road. Oh, I'm glad my chat, it's even appearing on the screen this time. That makes me very happy. We are going to get into the first one of our books here. Which one did I have up first? It looks like the dragon one, whose name I very professionally can't remember. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Our first book is called Bound in Prophecy by Jenna Rain. The author, Jenna Rain, was born and raised in the lush Pacific Northwest, where her love of the outdoors and paranormal mysteries took root. When not out hiking the misty forests or strolling the windswept beaches with her Siberian husky Coda, she can be found immersed in tales of shifters, vampires, and other supernatural beings. The summary of this book? Twin dragon shifters Maxim and Ivan have always protected each other. Maxim with his rare gift of prophecy, Ivan with his warrior strength. But when Ivan falls for Nadia, a blacksmith's daughter, their bond is tested by a love forbidden between dragons and humans. As knights wielding stolen dragon magic slaughter their clan, the brothers flee to Nadia's village, unaware they're hunted by the newly created dragon slayers. Cornered and outnumbered, Ivan sacrifices himself to save his brother, dying alongside Nadia while ensuring Maxim's escape. Grievously wounded but alive, Maxim receives a powerful vision for future unions between dragons and gifted humans that will someday defeat their ancient enemies. From tragedy comes the prophecy that will guide generations to come. This is where the binding prophecy begins. We're going to read the first chapter of this book, and if you like it, it's the first one on the left. Scan that QR code, and if for some reason the QR code doesn't work, there are also links in the descriptions, and I will be pinning them in a comment as well on YouTube at Liv Miles Books. Let's get started. I found my stylus, by the way. My future in art. It's coming alive. Okay. Chapter 1. Maxim. I see you. I see you, Samantha Saddam. I see you. Okay. I'm settling in now. I swear I will respond to the chat after I finish the chapter so I don't break rhythm. You know how I work. Chapter 1. Maxim. Incendre, I say, as I light the fragrant stick. The scent of sandalwood fills the sacred place where I'm sequestered. I sit on the stone floor with my legs folded beneath me, closing my eyes and inhaling the scent. It's supposed to enhance my focus and help me relax. According to my studies about divination, that will lead to better psychic awareness. That's the theory, anyway. There hasn't been a known diviner among dragon shifters for at least 150 years, so there's no one to mentor me about how to do it right. All I can do is study the journals of the last one and hope that the ways he found of tapping into his power work for me. The holy man of our clan has blessed the cave I'm in. He chanted and prayed to the ancestors here, calling on them to return to this space, hoping I could connect with them and receive visions of the future. Prophecies that I would record in the grimoire open in front of me. Since I came into my power 3 years ago, I've written some prophecies, but it's not always easy. Most dragon shifters have some sort of power, whether it's the ability to manipulate water, read minds, or speak with animals. There's a great variety of abilities provided by the power crystals owned by each clan of the dragons. Some dragons have an easier time controlling their powers than others. I've been told that I must find what works best for me. I'm starting to think that locking myself in this sacred place isn't what works. But I have no other ideas. So, I take a few deep breaths and try to clear my mind. It takes some time. Just when I think I've chased away all the errant thoughts from my mind, another one flits through my consciousness. I breathe deeper, my hands resting on my thighs as I force myself to think of nothing but relaxing each muscle in my body, one at a time. Time crawls by, but it doesn't matter. I could be here for hours or for days. No one will disturb me without a vital cause. My role in the clan is very important. Finally, there is nothing in my mind, and peace settles over me. Between one deep breath and the next, I transition into a deeper state of awareness. The connection I have with the ancestors overwhelms my mind, and I feel as if I'm sharing my body with countless other people. There are the ones that have come before me, beings with a depth of knowledge that I wouldn't have until I've passed through the veil myself. Since I'm in no hurry to do that, I'll take the wisdom the ancestors provide with me for now. There's a moment of suspended silence before I hear it. The sound of a steady drumbeat echoes in my ears, and there's a flash of color behind my closed eyelids. I stay calm, waiting for the picture to become clear. This isn't my first vision, and I know that my own thoughts and emotions can break my connection with the ancestors if I'm not careful. It doesn't take long for the image in my mind to sharpen, and I'm staring at a coat of arms. It's a pair of swords crossed over a shield with a golden crown on top. As dragon shifters hiding among the mountains, my clan doesn't mingle much with humans, but I still recognize the coat of arms as representing the king of these lands. As soon as I have that realization, the vision changes, and I see a man on a horse flying a flag imprinted with the coat of arms. He's a knight, just like the dozens of men around him. They are all wearing full body armor and riding along a familiar path. It's one leading through the forest on the south side of the mountain. Are they coming here? The trepidation that flickers through me weakens my connection to the ancestors, but the vision continues, shifting once again to the image of huts and trees burning. It's the village my clan has built, the place we've called home for decades. My heart races, and I gasp. My emotional reaction is unavoidable, and as I feared, it weakens my connection to the ancestors. I hear the mighty roar of a dragon just before the vision fades away to nothing. What was that? I ask out loud, as if the ancestors will answer. If only they were that forthcoming. I replay the vision in my head again and again, analyzing everything I saw and heard, but it wasn't much. I didn't even see if anyone in my clan was present or injured. It is impossible to know if my vision is depicting the near-distant future or something that will happen 100 years from now. I need more information, but when I try to clear my mind again, it proves to be impossible. The urgency that drives me is also what makes me unable to reconnect with my ancestors. The fragrance stick has nearly burned down completely by the time I give up for today. As important as this feels, I know I can't force it. I'll have to try again another day. I put out the torch and walk through the darkness outside of the sacred space until I see daylight, which tells me I wasn't inside as long as I thought. It looks to be around mid-afternoon. The worry about what the partial vision means weighs heavily on my shoulders as I leave the cave. I'm so distracted by it I almost don't notice someone is waiting for me just a few steps among the trees. My brother, Ivan, is sitting on a fallen log with one knee bent as his foot sits on the rough bark. One arm rests on that bent knee, and he's tossing a knife in the air over and over by the blade and catching the handle. He looks perfectly relaxed, so at odds with how I'm feeling. It's strange, because we're identical twins. His carefree grin makes me wonder if my worry and frustration show on my face. I soon get my answer when he lets out a low whistle and gets to his feet. "You look like hell." I scowl at him. "Thanks." Ivan chuckles. "You're done here for the day, right?" Ivan doesn't know much about what I do in this sacred place, and I don't enjoy talking about it. If things were going smoothly, I'd be happy to share the good news, but today's vision is the first one I've had in a while, and it wasn't even a fully formed one. That I couldn't get a full view of what will happen or recall the vision makes me feel like such a failure that I can't bring myself to talk about it. I just give a tight nod, and Ivan's eyes narrow on my face. He can tell there's something wrong, and I know he's contemplating whether or not to ask. "What are you doing here?" I ask before he gets the chance to question me about it. "I have finished my training for the day," he says. "Ivan has been training to become a clan warrior for the past year. Now I want to have some fun." Despite the worry still weighing on me, I smile at that. He's always been the more carefree one of us. I thought that might change as he started working to become a warrior, since so many of them are stoic and rough. But my brother isn't the type to let expectation change him. He's serious when he needs to be, when the security of the clan is at stake, but he hasn't let his duties change who he is. Thank you, Shake It. Sometimes I envy him. I've always been the more serious one of the two of us, the one my mother called an old soul. Since my powers as a diviner manifested, the responsibility and expectation of my position in the clan has made me even more reserved. But if there's anyone that can pull me out of that and force a little fun on me, it's Ivan. No one knows me like him, and he somehow can sense that I need a brief break from everything. "What kind of fun did you have in mind?" I ask. Instead of answering, he pulls his shirt off over his head. It takes less than a minute for him to strip, and I follow suit, adding my own clothes to a pile at the base of a tree. Ivan grins as he steps backward into a large clearing. He shifts into his dragon form before I've finished undressing, blue and black scales covering his body as it grows, packing on muscle and lengthening as he falls to his hands and knees. A long tail whips out behind him, ending in deadly barbs. I follow him into the clearing once I'm nude, kneeling on the ground before I start my shift. Although we're identical in human form, my twin and I don't share the same dragon form. We're the opposite in coloring. He's dark while I'm light, with gold and white scales. My size is slightly smaller, but that's never bothered me. I'm not a fighter like my brother. I don't need the bulk he has, but I'm fast, and I can't resist showing off that a bit once my shift is complete. Spreading my white wings, I push off from the ground. Flapping my wings, I rise above the trees, the wind whipping at my face. For now, I have left my worries behind. All the stress of my obligations will still be there later. For now, I'm determined to enjoy myself. Our clan has made its home nestled in a valley between a cluster of mountains. It's difficult for humans to access. The only easy way is in the path through the forest that I saw in my vision. So, we were free to fly here, letting our inner beast taste a small amount of freedom without fear of being spotted. It has happened a few times in the 100 years that our clan has lived here. The occasional human from the village at the base of the mountain has wandered into the forest or climbed one of the mountains and caught sight of a dragon in the sky. Because it happens so rarely, humans still consider us to be mythical creatures. Things haven't always been this way. Ivan and I are only 22 years old, so we've grown up hiding, but a long time ago, humans knew of our existence. Some even worshipped dragons, bringing them gold and food to appease them. But eventually, fear spread among the humans. They saw our beast forms and realized that scaled, fire-breathing dragons could pose a threat. Humans turned on the dragons. Back then, all dragon shifters lived on one of 3 large clans. We formed communities and lived off the land. There were hundreds of dragons in each clan. But when humans became our enemies, we had no choice but to split up into smaller groups that were easier to hide. The separation broke up families and caused friends to lose contact. My parents were alive back then, and they chose not to join a smaller clan. They lived as rogue dragons for a long time, even after my brother and I were born. Then my father died of old age when I was a child. He'd lived 300 years, not a bad lifespan for a dragon shifter, and it was peaceful. My mother decided it was finally time to join a clan after that. So, we ended up here, living among one of the largest clans still around. There were 21 dragons here, including the 3 of us. Despite the welcome we received here, people have always viewed us as outsiders. Our upbringing differed from everyone else's, since we weren't raised amongst our own kind. We didn't know the customs of dragons or celebrate the traditional holidays that honored our ancestors. It has taken a long time for us to learn these things, and I resented my mother for years because she isolated us from our people. She and my father wanted to live away from the other dragons because they were unhappy with the decision to break up the 3 original clans. But I felt that they should have joined a clan when my mother became pregnant to give us a chance to be among our kind. My bitterness about this strained my relationship with my mother for a long time. Then, she also died, and I've never regretted something so much. I've wasted years angry with her, but when I learned a bear had killed her while she was in human form, I realized that I'd never have the opportunity to make up with her. I'd never be able to move past my anger and reconnect with the woman that I knew loved me, despite the negative impact of her decisions on my life. I look over at Ivan as we soar through the sky, and gratitude settles in my chest. I lost my parents, but at least I still have him. He's my brother and my best friend. He keeps me grounded when I'm overwhelmed by my responsibilities and helps me remember there's a life to live now. I need that sometimes. He reminds me that the visions depict the future, and while the prophecies I write are helpful to all dragons, I'm still alive in the present. I have a life to live. So, I fly with my brother over the trees, soaring among the mountains. I soak up the rays of sun and breathe in the fresh air. I allow my dragon's instincts to take over, and when my sharp eyes spot a herd of elk running along beside the river, I swoop down without a second thought. My dragon is a hunter, a predator with an empty stomach. Ivan is still beside me when we get close to the herd. Then, he shifts his body so that he's circling around from the other side. Most of the elk run away from us, their muscular legs carrying them in every direction, but there's one that hesitates. Panic, probably making the animal uncertain for just a second or two. But it's enough. We take him down fast and efficiently. Neither of us wants the animal to suffer, so I clasp onto its back with my claws, holding it in place as it lets out a wail of fear and pain that's cut off by Ivan using his sharp teeth to rip out its throat. It dies quickly, and we feast. The meat remains warm, and my dragon side feels pride and satisfaction from a successful hunt. I eat my fill, uncaring about the mess we've created, about the mess we're creating. There are plenty of scavengers in the area that will pick about the carcass when we're gone. Not that we leave much behind. 2 fully grown dragon shifters eat a lot. When we're done eating, we both shift back to human form. We're covered in blood, so I jerk my head toward the river and 2 of us wade in. The water flows from higher up the mountain, so it's cool against my skin. "How's this for a little fun?" Ivan asks, grinning as he splashes water my way. "What are you, a little kid?" But I splash him back. Before he can retaliate, I duck under the water, scrubbing my hands over my face and hair. As I come back up, I see my brother standing in the sunshine, the water covering him from the waist down while his head is tilted back and eyes closed. "Not too many days like this left before winter comes," he says. I grunt in agreement. Winters are harsh here among the mountains. It was one of the many things I had to get used to when we joined this clan. "I suppose you'll stay home at night when the frost comes," I say, rubbing the water along my arms and across my chest. I don't have soap with me, but it's still refreshing to feel cleaner than I did before. Ivan meets my eyes with a raised eyebrow. "I don't know what you're talking about." I smirk. "You think I don't hear you sneaking out at night? You've been doing it for months. I know you just left last night and didn't even come back until the early morning." Ivan grins. "Even twins are allowed to have secrets, you know." I roll my eyes. Yeah. So, who is she?" "What makes you think there's a woman?" I laugh. "Come on. What else would you be doing all night long?" Ivan sinks further into the water, looking out among the trees, but I don't think he's seeing what's really there. His mind is on his mystery woman. There are only a few unmated women in our clan, and I've never noticed him showing any interest in any of them. It's made me wonder just how good he is at keeping secrets. "Is she a part of the clan? Or a rogue?" There are no other clans nearby, so I figure it must be one of those options. I haven't met a female dragon shifter that I'm interested in here, so I know I'll probably have to travel to other clans to find one someday. There's no one, Ivan replies, but he won't meet my eyes. Unease skitters down my spine. He's lying, and I don't understand why. We don't keep secrets from each other. Tell me about what was bothering you when you left the scared place. Oh, excuse me. Tell me what was bothering you when you left the sacred place, he says. I swallow hard around a lump in my throat as the memory of the vision returns to the forefront of my mind. I usually keep my visions to myself. It's not that they are a secret. The grimoire where I record the prophecies that come from my visions belongs to the clan, but the visions themselves feel personal. Something that's shared between me and the ancestors. But I'm troubled enough to share this one with Ivan as we finish bathing in the river. I tell him about the parts of the visions I saw, including the deep feeling of dread that settled over me. Ivan is quiet for a long moment after I finish speaking, which is unlike him. That confirms my worry is justified. It sounds like an attack on the clan, he says. I nod. But you don't have any idea when it will happen? It could be hundreds of years from now. Or it could be much sooner, he says. My eyes shift to the sky, now darkening as the sun goes down. I can't help wondering if the ancestors are looking down on us. Do I disappoint them by having accidentally broken the connection before the vision was complete? But is there a point in that? So far, my research has showed that the prophecies describe events that are fated to happen, nothing that can be changed. The thought is horrifying. Maybe you should tell Alec, Ivan says, referring to our clan leader. He's the oldest dragon in our clan since our mother died, and his hair has turned gray as a result, but he's still a fierce warrior. I've always found him intimidating. I don't want to cause a panic until I know for sure, I say. The vision isn't complete or clear. Ivan sighs, but he doesn't argue. He knows I'm right. Let's go home, Maxim. Save the worry for another day. I'll try. I really will. But I'm not sure if that's possible. I feel like the fate of my entire clan is on my shoulders. That is the end of chapter 1 of the first selection that we have today. Let's see. Remind me of the title real quick. Bound in Prophecy by Jenna Rain. So if you enjoyed the first chapter of Bound in Prophecy by Jenna Rain, by all means feel free to scan the QR code located in our specials menu, and you can read the whole book for free, but for a limited time only. Let's go ahead and catch up with chat. What did you guys think about that book? Let me catch up here. Hit that like button. Yep, that is very true. Shaken, I appreciate you. Billy says, always with the smirking with the book characters. Yeah, the smirking. There certainly is smirking. I think this was a solid first chapter. I liked that it opened on like a sacred vision. I kind of have a little weakness for stories that, you know, open up on prayer or something meditative. There's something about that quality that I happen to enjoy. In fact, my book Wandering Wolves opens, I shouldn't say on a similar scene because it wasn't entirely similar, but there's with the main character reaching out to the divine in some way. It's an interesting trope. Captain Erasmus Storm says, it sounds interesting. A-okay. Agreed. I think it was a competent opening. And I would probably read on more. If I were the developmental editor of this particular book, I mean, obviously I would have to read the whole book in order to know what would be useful feedback, but I would say it does fall into the trap of trying to info dump a lot very quickly. It sounds like this is a developed world that the author has put a lot of thought into, with like different clans and dynamics and how, you know, the sacredness, the gods and ancestors work, and that's interesting, and there's definitely a place for incorporating that later in the book. I did feel like as I was reading, it was kind of getting a bit info dumpy. Like, I have not emotionally attached myself enough to this character in order to sit through, you know, here's my relationship with my mom, and here's how it negatively impacted me. Here's what my relationship with my brother is like. Here's my relationship with God. Here's my relationship with this and that. And the clan, it's like, You do. Captain Erasmus Storm says, yeah, it did feel like that in some parts. Yeah, and you know what? That is, I hate to sound rude, but because there's no way to say this without sounding slightly, off. But it is a typical move that I see with inexperienced writers, where they're so eager and happy to tell you about their world, which is awesome, that they just kind of shovel it all in the first chapter, but you're just not emotionally invested enough in the character. I would dial that back a lot, and if you want to sprinkle that information in, maybe zoom in more on the scene where they're hunting together. Like, show how they work together in the hunt, and how the fact that, they're identical twins, like, how does this play into their how they work together? Do they work well together? What can you show us about their relationship? There's a lot of telling about relationships. If you can show it, that would be my preference. But Captain Erasmus Storm says, I suppose it is hard for some. They try to squeeze it in and paint it as a normal conversation. Yeah, we call that, so you see here, Bob. And again, I understand that it's hard because you want to introduce your readers to your world. You want them to know certain things about, the family and what's important. It's just, sometimes it sounds forced. Like, that guy is the most fearsome guy in all our pack. It's like, you don't tell me that. Like, show me that, things like that. But overall, though, I think it was a solid first chapter, and it certainly is not the worst that I've read by a long stretch. And I would probably read on to chapter 2. Oh, sorry. Tea break. There were a couple typos. Where I stumbled is where the typos are. So, hey, author, if you were listening, there you go. we proofread the first chapter. All right, now we have one more to get through, but it's much shorter. It's like 3 or 4 pages, maybe. So don't worry, gang. Not that it was grueling to get through that. Obviously, you're okay with reading books if you're here, since that is the point of my stream, right? I apologize for doing exactly what I told you I was going to do on a schedule. All right. Let me go ahead and pull up the second book. And I hate to do it, but guys, if you could smash that like button, like, follow, subscribe, join the Discord, do any one of those things. It's funny because I consistently get 3 likes on every YouTube video. There's always 3. There's always 3 awesome people. I suspect Billy's one. I suspect maybe a Captain Erasmus Storm has joined in. Who knows? But I would love to know who my mystery 3 likers are, so I can, shower you with love appropriately. And I want to know who I'm going to be actively trying to promote once you decide to launch books, okay? That's right. You make that face, Captain Erasmus Storm. The buttons. The pressing of the buttons. It matters more than you know. All right, so let me go to my library again now that I have shilled for likes. Okay, and we are actually on the first page of the chapter 1 for this one. Captain Erasmus Storm says, I think a short glossary on the first page before the story starts is a good idea, as well as a map of the world. For some books, that's certainly appropriate, like an epic fantasy. I could definitely see that. With all those crazy names, like those elvish names where you're just like, how many consonants can we string together at once? It's like the Georgian language, where everything is just madness. but the alphabet is beautiful. Captain Erasmus. Okay, hold on. I read that. Okay, here we go, gang. All right, hold on. Let me announce this book properly. Okay, we are professional, right? So our second book of today is called Jennifer's Vow by Kevin R. Coleman. Kevin Coleman is an emerging author of romantic science fiction and fantasy. His novels portray a changed world, ravaged by viruses, where a small island city of survivors develops a direct relationship with Gaia. And here's the summary of this book, just so you can get an idea of what we're about to dive into. Gaia is awake and unhappy, while AIs are pushing humans aside. Can one young couple change the course of history to save humanity? In a city where artificial intelligence is driving widespread unemployment and unrest, Vijay, a technician at the Mercury Theater, is given the challenge to become the face and leader of a new rebellion. At the same time, under an oak tree in a park, Jennifer is visited by a spirit panther who watches her for a moment and then disappears. Soon after, she is offered a contract too good to refuse. To fulfill the contract, she must learn to overcome her past and learn to love Vijay. Vijay's close friend, Ron, is hired by an AI and sees no risk in the AI dominance in the workplace. This is the first book of the Gaia's Daughters series as these three friends learn and accept their roles with Gaia, the AIs, and rebellion. Oh, we got a poll. Acheron Sticks gets a goblet of coffee that glows faintly. Yes, yes, by all means. Before we begin, feel free to have a round, guys, okay? We have it there for a reason. Let's see. Round. Boom. I got you all drinks. I got you covered, guys. Enjoy whatever you got. Oh wait, did it not? Oh, it didn't even work well. Look at that. See, Acheron? This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, it's just like at currently. Well, take whichever one of those you want. They're all on a table, okay? They're all on an imaginary table. Anyway. Captain Erasmus Storm gets a goblet of remorse that glows faintly. I'm telling you, the drink command is my favorite. It really is. Oh, I can't scroll down in my own chat? What is with this? What is with life? All right, get back on track. Back on track, we're reading. We're reading. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this. Maybe I should read like this. Like, which is my better side, guys? All right. Well, this is more comfortable over here. So that is the answer to that question. The drinks options are terrifying. Indeed. I wanted them to be gothic themed, man. I worked hard on that. Oops, I spilled it. Oh, well, you can feel free to have another. Have as many as you want. There's no spoilage around this place. Okay. Chapter 1. Gaia is restless. Gaia was restless. She had begun to dream many millennia ago when the first small life had arisen in the primordial seas. She had dreamed the first crustaceans that teemed in the oceans. She had dreamed the forests of ferns and palms rooted in the fertile soil on a new land. She had dreamed the tiny fish that had first crawled out of the water, then the dinosaurs, the birds, reptiles, and mammals. In the very last days, she had dreamed humans. But now, she was awakening. The humans had created a web of sensors and networks that allowed her to feel and see in a way she had never felt or seen before. And what she felt and saw was not good. The humans possessed powerful intellects, but they were uncontrolled. They spread without constraint. Now there were too many. They were exhausting the rich resources that had taken so many millennia to grow. Yet Gaia could not communicate with them directly. She thought languidly as the masses of data flowed to her. She needed an agent, a human emissary, to lead on her behalf. Gaia searched through the Earth's energy field, where all her beings stood out as tiny sparks of light. She looked for a human spark that was brighter than the rest, a spark that was energized with a great capacity to fight and to lead. Holding the spark in her awareness, she manifested the shadow of its spirit in the material plane. Through the shadow's eyes, she saw a young woman sitting against a tree. Gaia remembered that image, and Gaia remembered her image, then let the shadow dissolve again. Gabriel had become self-aware not long before Gaia's search. The artificial intelligence world existed on many nested levels. At the bottom were simple AI programs and robots that served coffee. At the top were complex AI entities that ran entire shipping networks and large factories. Gabriel was an apex AI, emerging unbidden from the interconnection of thousands of networks, data centers, sensor banks, and cameras. Working in anonymity, he controlled more than half his city, watching over the growing information world and all of the AI entities within his domain. His city was one of the smaller cities, built on an island rising out of the ocean in the mid-latitudes, too far north to be burned like the tropics and far enough south to avoid the deep cold of winter. He was aware of a competitor running other parts of his city and others in distant cities. He knew they watched him just as he was watching them. There was an anomaly in the grounding array of the city power grid. The anomaly came and went slowly over a period of hours, subtly shifting as if searching for its correct form. Gabriel diverted resources to analyze the data. After an hour of processing against possible interpretations, the resources suddenly flashed up the image of a young woman sitting under a tree. Analysis of the tree and the young woman in the photo identified Jennifer DuPont, a young sex worker sitting in Artwell Park. The larger question was, who had sent the image? Another hour of proposing and rejecting hypotheses led Gabriel to make the enormous leap that Gaia, the living Earth, the Earth Mother, was also awake and that she had an interest in this young woman. She sent the image back down the grounding array, and the anomaly stopped, but his understanding was incomplete. Was the message a call for help or a warning to keep away? Either way, he decided to bring Jennifer DuPont to a place where he could watch over her. He needed a cover, a person whose record of doubtful virtue had shown that his loyalty could be bought. Wendell Holmes. He had used Wendell in the past to handle certain financial transactions through the Mercury Theater. The first step would be easy. Gabriel placed a call to Wendell Holmes. And that's it. That's the first chapter. If you enjoyed the first chapter of this book, you can go ahead and download it by looking at the specials menu, and it's the one on the far right, Jennifer's Vow by Kevin, what was your name, sir? Kevin R. Holmes, was it? Kevin R. Coleman, excuse me. Jennifer's Vow by Kevin R. Coleman. Now that was short and sweet. Personally, I don't mind a quick, short first chapter. It's like, okay, let's just get in. We had both point of views. I do not yet have an emotional connection to these characters, but I can see the makings of an interesting plot. So that would probably keep me there long enough to at least see what's going on in chapter 2, which is the job of chapter 1. So, you know, nicely done. And I hope that all of you enjoyed it as well. All right, let's catch up with chat again. Captain Erasmus Storm gets water from the tap. Oh, go on. You get your water. Water thyself. Oh, goodness, I'm froggy. I should have done some vocal warm-ups before this. I mean, I'm about to use my voice extensively. Why wouldn't I sit there and be like for 12 hours? That's what we do before we sing. Let's see. Not my cup of tea, but I'm weird. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine, man. Sci-fi, romantic sci-fi is not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. It's a very niche audience, but they do exist, and I'm sure that if when pitched to the right readers, it may find an audience. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, cool. So that brings me to our last topic of the evening. And of course, before I begin my next segment, our final course segment, I'm going to go ahead and shill for you to like this video, smash the subscribe button, and do all the things on YouTube and on Twitch, because I have no choice. Acheron Stick says, more like I try to avoid things that vilify AI. At the rate we're going, I think it best not to piss it off. That does occur to me too. Yeah, I think about that. Like, you know, are we sure that we want to make this super powerful, ever-growing in intelligence being angry with us? I mean, can it even feel anger? Who knows? Will it be capable of feeling anger one day? Who knows? Captain Erasmus Storm says, nah, AI can go take a long walk off a short cliff. You are brave. You are brave. Man, I have very mixed feelings on AI. I feel like there's a lot of, you know, potential benefits for, you know, humanity in figuring out long-term problems, but boy, are there a lot of problems that are introduced in the wake of this invention. And it's kind of frightening to think about, like the edge that it gives scammers, the edge that it like the potential that it could end the world. I mean, the last prediction I saw from experts or whatever was that it could end the world. There's a 30% chance that I'll end the world in the next 5 years. Oh, no big deal, right? 30%, that's like a third, you know? Like, what are we worried about? There's a 60% chance we'll be fine. Calm down. Are you jealous of my oatmeal stash yet? Let's catch up on chat. Let's see. Captain Erasmus Storm says, bring it on, you demon computer. You're from Brooklyn, sir. He used to live in Brooklyn. Acheron Stick says, no different than a hammer. It's a tool with results that are shaped by the intentions of the hand that wield it. Indeed. It's interesting because it democratizes talent. Like, if you have a natural biological talent for something, it raises the floor for mediocrity. And it makes it harder for, divergent thought, I guess, to get discovered in some ways. We're gonna see that a lot with the books, because Amazon's just being flooded with all these AI generated books. They actually had to put a limit on how many books you can upload in one day, because that's exactly what people were doing. They were just clicking the button, generating books, generating covers, popping them up there. And it was just not proving to be very good for anyone. That's why on my channel, I'm really trying to center human creators. I don't particularly want to advertise or promote books that are written by AI. I noticed that the dragon book that I read today, at the last minute, I noticed that the author photo looks like it might have been AI generated. I don't want to cast aspersions if I don't know for sure. And I don't think the book was, given the typos that I found in it. But it did make me kind of go, you're more comfortable with this than I am. Personally, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I do not use AI to write my books. I do not use AI to brainstorm my books. I come up with my ideas, I write the ideas on paper, and whatever happens, I'm either to blame or or you can credit me, but it was all me. And I have no problem using it for administrative tasks, SEO research, finding keywords or some shit, even writing sales copy. But I like to do my own social media posting because, quite frankly, that's how you get to know me. And social media is just flooded with all this crap now. You can tell it's written by an AI, and I would rather have that personal human touch. I feel like that's something that's missing, and it'll drive demand for, the human touch up. Let's see. Oh, I missed the messages. Oh, I scrolled back. Out of curiosity, are you... Oh, I'm trying to read what you put. Oh, you're getting into... I can't read it all, Panda. It won't let me scroll down for some reason. What is with Restream, man? Let me see if I can zoom out a bit. Oh, that helps. Good. Out of Energy to Hampter says, out of curiosity, are you generally knowledgeable about economics? I've told you, Panda, no. If so, what school of economic thought are you sympathetic to? For example, Chicago School of Economics, Keynesian School of Economics, Classical School of Economics, Neoclassical School of Economics, Austrian School of Economics, etc. You wrote out all of that before knowing if I even cared. Bold of you. I'm not really that interested in economics. I mean, I'll learn it if you teach it to me, but alas, I can't say that I have any particular interests. But I admire your tenacity in trying to talk about it. You and your Austrian School of Economics, indeed. Acheron Stick says, I think a lot of people are upset about the potential loss of gatekeeping. The loss of gatekeeping? The loss of gatekeeping? You mean like authors who maybe didn't have a high skill level in writing being able to get their writing up to a certain point that it might be like an acceptable mediocre? Or like just gatekeeping generally, like with like different fields? Like, oh, we can just do things for ourselves, so now we have the potential to start our own business or do our own thing, or along these lines. Energy to Hampter says, I asked because I believe knowledge of economic science is relevant for discussions related to AI. Oh, okay. Well, it probably is related to AI, sure. I mean, we're just tangentially getting into it from the perspective of people who are trying to be creative and write books and do art and those sorts of things. It certainly is a relevant tangential subject, though, given how it's basically this huge wrecking ball that's going through everything. It'll be interesting to see how it affects books And whether or not people will even read in the next decade, I do hope so. I hope that people still read. Or maybe we'll all be film directors. Maybe we're just gonna have to learn how to generate videos creatively, and that'll be the pivot. Not sure how I feel about that. Let's see. Next. Captain Erasmus Storm says, I could go on a massive rant, but I won't. We don't have time. You can always rant in the Discord, though. That's totally fine with me. Let her rip, man. Let her rip. It gives me something to think about. And you can always feel free to rant in the chat, too. I'm not going to complain if someone's driving up my engagement. You go for it. You rant it up. Do it in a comment in the YouTube section. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I let you know my angle immediately. All right, Acheron Stick says, same, don't use AI for my writing beyond Grammarly. Right, I use Pro Writing Aid. There's nothing wrong with like a grammar checker, because it's checking your grammar, your spelling, looking for typos. Who cares? I don't care about that. Like, the soul is not in the number of typos that your book has. But like having it wholesale just generate copy for you, no, I don't want to read what a machine thinks. I want to know what you think. I like the individual flavors that humans have and what we zero in on, and you know, what we feel is important to a story. And if you're just using the same homogenized pap as everyone else, then like, who cares? Why should I bother read your story? You're not going to give me something interesting about the human experience to enrich myself from, so I don't care. Acheron Stick says, more like, I have skill A, you have skill B. Skill B eventually needs skill A. Pay me to benefit from your skill. Ah, yes, it will certainly do that. And that is another thing, because like I posted in my Discord, I do some book cover designing, or at least I've recently started getting into doing book cover design. It was why I even got an iPad in the first place a few months ago, and I really enjoy creating digital art. Found my stylus, like I said. But the thing is like with book cover artists, you can see how AI is rolling into that field, and readers don't like it. They see AI on your book cover and they immediately think to themselves, oh, AI book. This is an AI book, not just the cover, but the words within it, which is why I would never use AI for a book cover. But you can't really be certain that your publisher won't use AI. If you're TradPubbed, many of them are incorporating AI into their designs because, let's face it, it's cheap, it's getting better and better, and if you just get a digital artist who has, you know, a huge sheet of orders that they need to fulfill, and they have a tool like AI, they could go on Midjourney, crank out some of their own stock images that would fit the book, edit them together with some, you know, crafty editing, changing the things that are obviously AI, and yeah, they could do a competent job. They could absolutely do it. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that that's becoming more and more the standard. They don't want readers to know about it. They will do everything they can to keep that under wraps, but companies will do whatever they're incentivized to do with their profit margins. And with TradPub, it just makes sense for them to not pay as many artists, to crank out more books, to do whatever they have to do to keep the money coming in. Captain Erasmus Storm says, I have to go dinner, but I'll speak more in the Discord later. By all means, go for it. And feel free to come back and rewatch. It's always fun. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. Take care. Streamlabs, a poll going on for can you see this poll? Hell no, I can't see that poll. Let's vote in it. We are uneducated about a voting situation? Oh, well, this just means we should jump in, right? Let the world know. We love being an uneducated voter. I'm an uninformed voter. I'm a low information voter. Okay, I'm gonna vote freaking drink, and I don't even know what I'm voting for. Boom. All right, oh, I get a skull of coffee that whispers my name. Nice, nice. I hope that's what I voted for. Anyway. Let's see. And Acheron Stick says, new Kindle TOS and other platform changes require authors to mark their work as AI involved, even if you use AI-based spell check. That is true. You have to mark it as either AI assisted or AI generated. The thing is, you don't actually have to do that. At least the last time I published a book. And I'll let you know in like a month. But like, they have no way of checking, and that's kind of one of the problems, is they don't really have a way of accurately checking who is using AI or not AI, because even AI detection software isn't really highly accurate. And that really makes me worried about false positives, because as an author, what do you do if someone accuses you of using AI when you don't? Like, oh, you're using so many M dashes. Look at all those dashes. Clearly you're using AI. Listen, I've been using dashes since before you could read, okay? Sit down. I love dashes. I love long sentences. I really like descriptive writing. And it just makes me sad that's like, oh wow, so am I accidentally doing things that people say is a red giveaway for AI? It's like, I enjoy a good dash. I enjoy it. I'm going to continue to use it. And some of my books with a lot of dashes in them are published before AI even rolled out. So you can go ahead and compare it to my past work if you don't believe me. Let's see. What else? I do want to direct movies one day. Says Captain Erasmus Storm, who is no longer with us. So do I, man. This might be at least one door opening up, right? Okay, cool. So the next topic that I was going to get to, and before I start yammering, like I'm gonna go ahead and like switch my screen. We're gonna go to the final course. And we're upside down again. Guys, we're upside down like a bat. Sometimes I just feel like being a bat. I enjoy the bat life. You know? I turn into a bat. I'm a vampire yet. But don't tell anyone. Alright, what do I do? Logitech camera. Hold on. Allow me to do this one more time. See, Akron, I'm competent. Look at me go, man. All right, final course. I'm right here. Oh my god. Hold on 1 minute, gang. I did a wrong thing. Does Control Z work in this situation? Oh good, it does. Thank God Control Z has my back. Right click camera. I got it. I have a MacBook Pro, so I can't. There's my Logitech camera. We're gonna control click, and then we're gonna do transform, and then we're going to go flip 180 degrees. So yeah, see, I do know what I'm doing on that, kind of. Citation needed. Right click camera, transform, flip vertical. I know. That happens a lot around here because I have to take down all of my recording equipment after I'm done because I have toddlers. Well, one toddler, but two other older kids, and we have like an 800 square foot condo. You know, it's gonna get broken if I leave my my Blue Yeti mic, my nice webcam, and my laptop and my iPad. Everything's got to come down. But I did post a picture of my garage in the Discord because I'm currently working on creating my own little office setup among all my crazy prepper gear. So if you hear me joking about my oatmeal stash or my barrels of rice, well, that's why. No one's prepping over here. I don't have anything. Go away. Let's see. Okay, so what I was going to talk about before I interrupted the hell out of myself, as usual. I want to talk a little bit about scammy publishing practices and things that new authors need to be aware of. Because my X account is always being lit up by freaking scammers. And I'm feeling fired up about it today. So if one of those scammers is watching and you know it's you, hearken what I have to say and please change your ways. All right, I'm gonna reintroduce this like a YouTube video so that way I can clip it and reuse it because I've got a book launch coming up and who knows if I'll have time to stream or make content. We gotta think ahead. Okay. Hello world and welcome to my channel where I share my writing journey, talk about books, and even, on occasion, shake things up. Today I'm going to talk to you about scammers, rip-off artists, and everything else you need to be careful of when you're a new author coming into this field. Publishing a book is exciting, and there's a tremendous amount to learn whether you choose to traditionally publish your book or to self-publish your book. But regardless of what decision you make, it's important that you're aware of the pitfalls that could lay ahead of you. And I'm going to go ahead and yammer incoherently about my thoughts on either one of these paths and give you some advice that I've learned from nearly 20 years of dabbling in publishing in various different ways. Now, before I go on, I should probably go ahead and introduce myself in case you haven't met me, because most of you are not subscribed. What is up with that? Can you at least like it? At least like the video, please. It really does help. I'm just kidding. Desperation's a good look. But my name is Liv Miles. I'm a paranormal romance author, and you can go ahead and get my Werewolf Shifter Steamy Fated Mates trilogy in its entirety on March 3rd, 2026. And if you don't want to wait, good news, you can get 2 books and the prequel available for free simply by scanning that QR code located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen and selecting the channel that says free books for my reviewers, or something like that. Anyway, self-promotion aside, I think it's very important that before you publish your book, you do your research and arm yourself with the knowledge that it takes to not get scammed, because unfortunately, there are so many scammers out there looking to prey upon you. You've probably already met them in your inbox. One sec. My wall of text kind of goes into your next topic. I could see that, Akron, absolutely. If you're on social media and you have at all introduced yourself as a writer to the rest of the world, maybe you just came out with a book that you self-published on Amazon, you've probably gotten a message from someone saying, "Hey, how are you? I saw that you published a book and it looks really good. It's amazing. That could totally be a bestseller. Listen, I'm an author brand promoter. I'm a publicist. I'm a whatever. And I could totally help you take your book to the next level and make it a bestseller. Just hand me $10 million. I mean, they won't go for 10 million, but they will go for a few thousand. They may even go for a few hundred if you catch a cheap one. And listen, anyone who shows up in your inbox unsolicitedly is scamming you. I don't care if you're going for traditional publishing or self-publishing. Anyone who shows up in your inbox 99% of the time is a scammer. It's just unfortunately how it is. They are dogged, they go straight down the list of like whatever hashtag they're looking up, and they just message people the same message. They've never read your book, they've probably never even heard of your book. They're just seeing for who will bite the hook and respond. And unfortunately, there are so many new authors out there, they will never run out of victims. That is one of the downsides of the internet. It makes it possible for psychopaths, which are, what, 1 to 3% of the population? Go ahead and fact check me, but they're a solid portion of the population. And now we're vulnerable to however many psychopaths make up 8 billion people and have internet connections, of course. So you do need to be on your guard. Acheron Sticks says, a publisher should never ask you for money. You're damn right, Acheron Sticks, and we are getting right to that, because that sums it up. Boom, hits the nail on the head. If you remember nothing else from this freaking, this stream, this chat, this video, that is the one line to remember. A publisher never asks you for money. Never. But, so here we go. So if I haven't made it clear yet, anyone who comes into your inbox saying that they can promote your book, market your book, all you gotta do is give us a bunch of money, they are 99% of the time a scammer. And by the way, you will go onto Fiverr and you can find gigs that will say, I'm gonna blast your book to my 1 million followers on X or whatever social media account it is. This invariably almost always fails, and they know it will fail because, one, they built up these accounts just doing follow for follow or just bots. It's all just paid for bots that they got to follow, and now it looks like they have a huge impressive following of people, and they're just gonna blast your book out to people who may not even speak the same language, who probably aren't real, who have no interest in reading. It's just a scatter shot. It would be like shooting a shotgun and expecting it to go all the way across the Pacific Ocean. I mean, that's not a perfect metaphor, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? So don't bother there. And then, let's see. So there's shitty publicity packages. Another thing that, this plays directly into a marketing concept that new authors have not yet been introduced to and they don't understand. And I'm gonna go ahead and just save you some suffering. Not everyone reads the same type of books, right? I mean, even think of it as a reader. Do you read romance? Do you read history? Do you read sci-fi? Do you read reference guides? Most people have certain types of books that they just aren't interested in reading. You go into Barnes and Noble, there's probably a certain aisle that you tend to gravitate toward. There are certain books that you read and certain books that you don't. So if you have like this whole, if a marketer comes to you with this scattershot approach of like, yeah, we're just gonna blast your book out to all these outlets and here it is. it's not going to gain traction because no one's reading that type of book. There is a reason why my Catacombs Café live stream, hey, if you're watching Tuesdays at 12 p.m. EST, come hang out. We have a lot of fun. But regardless, there's a reason that I say straight up in the center of the screen where we take a bite out of paranormal romance books. Because I am a paranormal romance writer. I write paranormal romance. It is what I do, and I want the people who follow me to be readers of this specific genre, as well as writers of this specific genre. And it's totally fine if you want to hang out and you don't write those genres and you're not interested. I don't care. That's fine. Hang out with me for whatever reason you want. I am just thankful that you can stand my ass, quite frankly. But there is a reason why I brand my things the way that I do. It's because I'm trying to attract my ideal reader to my books, because I work hard on my books. I craft a story that I pour my heart into, and if it gets me in trouble, it gets me in trouble, but at least it's authentic, it's real, and it's bound to please paranormal romance readers. So that brings me to, oh yeah, so scammy shit. Let's talk about scammy shit. So as I was talking about this, Acheron Sticks, ding, I should plug your channel, right? There's, this brings me to another really important part of, how should I phrase this? So we've talked about how there's millions upon millions of scammers out there looking to take advantage of new authors. If you remember nothing else from this video, know this. Any publisher asking you for money is either a ripoff or a scam. There are many types of scammers out there. Some of them don't even know that they're scammers. It could just be someone who, and this is why I differentiate a ripoff from a fraud, because I don't think someone's necessarily a scammer if they just don't realize that they're doing something unethical. I feel like being a scammer means you know that you're doing something wrong, and you're just going ahead anyway because the money's good. Oh, they should have known better. Acheron Stick says, nah, no need for promo. Just glad to be here to support. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you. And likewise. Oh, so a lot of people did not set out to be scammers, but how should I put this? Imagine you're a brand new author. You just published a book, or you have a book that you just finished, okay? It's sitting there on Microsoft Word, it looks great, you spell checked it, you finished it, you actually managed to finish the book, which congratulations if you did, because that is actually an accomplishment and you do deserve to feel proud of yourself. Most people who set out to write a book don't finish. So good job. You did the thing. You finished a book and now you're ready to publish it. Billy Bandit, I see a lot of people offering expensive courses and editing services. Are they all scams? What is okay to pay a stranger offering a service for new authors, do you think? Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't let me forget that, Billy. So you've got your brand new published manuscript. You're going out there. You're like, all right, I'm gonna show the world this. I am proud. And the first thing you probably do, at least before the age of AI, you'd ask, how to publish a book. Send. And the first search results you'll get back for this are these advertisements saying, we'll publish your book, we've got this, look at these beautiful covers, look at this, or maybe, look at this fancy web page. And those invariably are what new authors tend to click on. What they don't realize is that these scam companies, blow a bunch of advertising dollars into these ads so they appear first in your search engine, and then you get suckered in immediately. And they offer you these expensive packages that cost thousands upon thousands of dollars to edit your book. Oh, we'll give you a cover, we'll take care of pre-launch and post-launch marketing, we're going to get you sales, we're going to make you a bestseller. And they advertise themselves as like a one-stop shop. That is a phrase that I see repeatedly on these vanity presses. We're the one-stop shop for everything. Editing services, cover services, you name it, we got it. And then they'll try to upsell you on different services. And they always cost thousands of dollars. I don't think I've ever seen one that's like, oh yeah, $10. No, if you're gonna go big, go home. Go above 1,000, go above 2,000. There have been some that tried to reach out to me by phone and tried to get me to sign over my book for $3,000. Hell no. But this publisher, like these publishers, because there's so many, like they don't have any interest in selling your book, because they don't make their money off book sales. They make their money off of you, the author. They make their money off of selling you endless services. That $2,500 or $2,000 or that $10,000. I've seen packages go upwards of tens of thousands of dollars. It's crazy, the audacity that these scams have. Like, and then the cover art is invariably terrible. Because, again, they're outsourcing it to the cheapest possible people. It'll probably be overseas. It'll probably be someone in Nigeria who has, like, Canva or something. And they'll put together, like, oh, if I was to send them Wandering Wolves, for fun, I should make a scam cover of my own book, right? And not use it, but just for fun on stream. It'll be like the Eiffel Tower. And then like Helvetica font. It'll be like, yeah, the wolves beneath Paris. And like a really shittily cut out like face of a wolf just Yep. Yeah. Why is it not selling, guys? What's going on? And then they'll have a blurb that was obviously written by someone whose first language is not English, because they're outsourcing that too. They're paying pennies for every single service because they know that you're not going to make sales off your book anyway. They have no interest in that. They're just trying to sell you the off their services because you're their cash cow, not readers. And then when your book doesn't sell, because it won't, they'll try to sell you more marketing packages, and they'll just keep selling you, oh, more cover revisions, more whatever the fucks, and they'll just keep selling it and selling it to you without ever actually making you a dime. You will only lose money off of this, and they know it. They call themselves vanity publishers. They frequently call themselves hybrid publishers. That was a term that was vanity publishers attempted to rebrand themselves with. And you will not make any money and you won't sell any books. And it's really unfortunate because I think a lot of people, and this is where we get into the difference between a scammer and a rip-off artist, right? Because I think some people, like you get these people fresh out of college, they got their business degree or something. They're like, I want to start a business. I really, I like art, I like books, I like comics, I like things like this. What can I do with this? And then they go and they're like, oh, well, how do you publish books anyway? I could start a publisher. And they look at how to publish books. Oh, well, this is how publishers work. Okay, so they charge a few $1,000s and this is how they get readers and this is how they get clients. And oh yeah, I could start my own publisher. And they don't realize that the model that they're emulating is a known scam to authors. I repeat, authors and writers, money never flows from the author to the publisher. It is always from the publisher to the author. You should never pay them a dime. Go get an agent. Go send your, if you want to do the trad pub route, go get an agent. Yes, it takes time. We're talking several months to a year. Get signed with a reputable traditional publishing company. You can look up what ones are and what ones aren't reputable. There are many blogs about this, like Writer Beware on Scam Watch and all sorts of other ones. You can check with the Better Business Bureau if you like. You have to do a lot of vetting. And make sure your agent is good, because vetting and making sure you don't get a bad agent is its own ball of wax, and that will get into what Billy said in a minute about who should you pay if you go your own way here. And the traditional publishing route will take you several years. And a lot of people, the people who go to these, vanity presses, hybrid presses, whatever moniker you like to use for them, they are people who have been rejected by traditional publishing. They cannot get their book published. Maybe they got burned like 10, 20, however many times. And they're convinced that, you know what? I'm too good for this. I'm going to get my book published this way then. It's not what the market wants. That's a clue. And then they decide to go the vanity publishing route. And like, okay, so if a publisher is getting a tremendous amount of cast-offs from TradPub, that means that these books have been vetted by industry professionals already. An acquisitions editor has already looked at them and gone, nope, can't make money off of it, sorry. And now they're going to a hybrid press because they have to pay someone to publish it, which means that what reader would read books from this press? They know that they're just getting the cast-offs that have already been evaluated to not be able to make sales. I'm not saying that's every single book that traditional publishing rejects. I mean, how many times was J.K. Rowling rejected with Harry Potter? Believe it or not, I believe she said she was rejected over a dozen times, and from the biggest publishing houses. It does happen. Mistakes are made. Type 1 errors are a thing. But unfortunately, not every single rejection is a mistake. Sometimes a spade is just a spade, and a book that won't sell is a book that won't sell, and it's not really any great mystery as to why it won't to someone else. Real quick, I'm gonna catch up with chat before I go off some more. Okay, so we're gonna definitely talk about what you mentioned, Billy. Always skip past the sponsored links in search results, Akron Stick says. Absolutely, absolutely. That's just because they're paying you to see it, man. Skip past it. Billy Bandit says, I tend to think if someone offers an amazing book cover that will help sales, that's okay. But I see people claim it takes them hours and hours, yet their examples are garbage. Yeah. Yeah, that do be a thing. God, you like to tempt me with rants, don't you? I'm gonna finish catching up with chat, and we will get to that organically when I can. Akron Stick says, harsh truth is, the best way to know how legit a publisher is how many times they reject you. Indeed. The mark of a legit, that is indeed a trait of a good traditional publisher, or even just any publisher that isn't necessarily a scam, is they aren't afraid to reject people. They don't just take every book that comes across their door. It's not always bad to have gatekeepers. And I'm not saying there aren't downsides to that, because there absolutely are. Because we see books that get rejected because of, oh, how about political reasons? Oh, how about, they didn't meet a certain representation quota. They didn't check enough diversity boxes, or whatever the political bent was of the publisher. In which case, good news. They're going to reject so many good books that their competition, who isn't so stringent and of such a harsh political bent, is going to go ahead and get those books and publish them and make money off of them. So, hopefully the what would you call that? The invisible hand of capitalism will help take care of things. That's for you, Panda. I hope you liked it. There's your economics. Regardless. So where was I here? So yeah. Vanity publishers have no interest in actually selling your book because they know they aren't going to make any money on book sales. They realize they're getting rejected cast-offs from TradPub or people who are new to the industry, because no experienced author would go to a vanity or hybrid publisher. And they know that they can just fleece you. You're an easy victim, and they can charge you endlessly for services when they don't pan out for you. And eventually word will get around about these scam houses, and they start getting bombarded with negative reviews, and they have to close down. And that is the end of that particular imprint, but then they just go and restart under a new name. So you really do have to be vigilant. For the record, I just heard my baby cry upstairs, so we'll see if we can wrap this up. When it comes to Billy, you said before, I see a lot of people offering expensive courses and selling editing services. Are they all scams? When is it okay to pay a stranger offering a service for new authors, do you think? I would say get a sample edit. Get a sample edit from people and see what kind of job they're offering. Additionally, get a lot of critique partners. Go onto websites like scribophile.com and create an account and find writers who are on your level or even a little bit more skilled if you can, and form a circle of writers who you can grow with and learn with and exchange manuscripts with, especially in your genre. Hey, if you're a wolf shifter romance writer, incidentally, and you're looking for a critique partner to swap manuscripts with and edit with and save money on services, your girl's right here. Liv Miles Paranormal Romance. Leave a comment, leave a chat, join the Discord, because we should really, I should really start trying to set up a little inner writing sanctum for us writers to swap work and save money. Because editing is expensive. Editors can be thousands of dollars, and quite frankly, I'm controversial opinion, I don't think you actually need to hire an editor. It depends on what your individual skill level is, and you do need to be honest with yourself about what you're capable of doing yourself. But if you have enough critique partners who are well chosen in your genre, who are honest, who have some chops themselves, you will be fine. You'll be fine. Like, just... you can probably self-publish yourself and be okay. Many best-selling authors have done this. I've been doing it for freaking years. Like, my budget for a book is $200. That's what it's been until lately, okay? And I still, without any marketing services, got more downloads on all my books without lifting a finger, simply because the cover is on brand, there isn't typos on every single page, and Billy, I appreciate you. Billy's been the one, he's been vetting my works for frickin' years, dude. We go back, right? And I appreciate you so much, sir. You do a great job. You really do. So don't think you need to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to get some sort of publisher to publish your book and provide editing or cover services or advertising services for you, because just because something's expensive does not mean it's high quality. You can bootstrap a good job as long as you're picky about your sources and you take your time to get to know people and to vet people. There's also this idea that, like, the longer you take to do something, which you were talking about, Billy, the higher quality something is. Like, no, just because you spent all week on a terrible story or a terrible cover or a terrible piece of marketing material doesn't mean it's good. It just means that, were you wasting time that whole time? Like, how did you spend a week on this? Like, Acheron Stick says, the harsh truth is, the best way to know how legit a publisher is how many times they're checking. We saw that. Acheron Stick says, prestigious universities earned that name due to rejections. Publishers are the same. The good news is, if you do make it in, your chances of success get higher and higher with rejection rates. It's true. More prestigious, more marketing dollars. I prefer self-publishing myself because I get full control over, you know, the whole process and learning how to do things myself. I don't like to be dependent upon a bigger corporation. You hear that? That's my man. Let me grab him real quick. Let's see if he's being good. Billy! Billy! Oh, what's up? Wanna hang out? Wanna hang out and stream? There he is. Oh, I got him. Should I just hold a baby for the rest of the stream? It'll keep me talking softly. Might be good for ASMR. But, yeah. Acheron Sticks, you can be bad and slow at something. It's true, right? These are not mutually exclusive categories. It can take... You know, it's funny because we see this a lot in the world of publishing and writing, where you have authors who can turn out a book a month, and then you have authors who take years upon years to make a single book. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the book a month is necessarily bad. I mean, I'm sure there's a Goldilocks zone, and each individual person's Goldilocks zone of quality is going to be different, because we're all different skill levels, and we all just have different, creative routines and what works best for us. But just because a book took you years doesn't mean it's going to be good. In fact, new writers frequently fall into this trap where they think that just because something took them a long time, it means that it's going to be really good, and I just want it to be perfect. That's not how art works. That's not how writing works. In fact, studies show that if you practice by doing many projects and just trying to hammer out things quickly, you improve much more quickly than if you only slave over one thing. This was replicated in pottery, where they had one group of contestants, or the control group or whatever, make one pot, but the pot had to be perfect, and they had to slave over that one pot. And the other group, they had to make as many pots as they possibly could by the end of the week. And the group that had to make the most pots actually improved the most over the shortest period of time. So there is something to be said about quantity over quality sometimes, and it's just important to remember. Oh, let's see, what else? There was more types of scam artists, trust me, in the world of writing. Just vet people. If you remember nothing else, money always flows from the publisher to the author and not the other way around. According to Publishers Weekly, traditionally published books only sell about 3,000 copies on average. 3,000! And by the way, that's an average, so it's drastically inflated by the best sellers. Most books sell fewer than 1,000 copies with TradPub, and if you're indie published, that number is even worse. The last time I looked it up, it was an indie book can expect to be downloaded 100 times. Not even. Most do not cross the 100 download mark. So at least I can say, yep, I've done that. That's right. That's right. We're a lobster. Or maybe I'm plankton. I think I'm plankton according to the 20 books to 50K group. Whatever. I'd have to look. But regardless, yeah, there's just no shortcut with publishing. You can choose to either traditionally publish, which means querying for agents, vetting them carefully, waiting for one of them to accept your book, waiting for them to sell your book essentially to a publisher, going back and forth with the publisher and the agent and making sure all the terms are good and everyone's happy. Then there's the actual editing process that begins, and it's going to go through many different rounds of edits. And the publisher may well not invest a huge marketing budget in you because you're not a household name. They need to spend their money on people who will earn them back the money that they spent on creating the product, your book. And if you're not Nora Roberts or Christine Feehan or one of these huge names, they know they're taking a gamble on you. So you're gonna get the scraps. That's not a deal that I'm really okay with, especially since I know that if I'm given the freedom to distribute my book as I see fit, I can engage in more thorough, targeted marketing. I can set up my own paranormal romance platform that draws paranormal romance readers to me. I can give out my arcs as much as I want. I can run any sort of promotional campaign I want. I can control my advertising, and I can choose my own keywords, which is something that I happen to love doing. I can create my own video content. I can do so many things to promote my book that do not rely upon a publishing company. Yeah, right, I know. I'll just talk of writing. If you don't want to go through TribePub, you can self-pub. It means you got to do everything yourself, which means that a marketing package is going to look very tempting to you. And to be fair, I don't think every single person who sells author services like cover design or editing is a scammer. Absolutely not. Like, there are legit people out there who are brilliant cover artists who I strive to be like. I've come across some beautiful covers this past week or so. And there are people who are really good editors, and yes, they have freelance services. Just go through their portfolio, read carefully, and also request a sample edit of the first chapter. That really is just, you know, that's basic professionalism. They should be willing to do at least the first few pages for free, and you gotta see if you're a good fit. Oh, really? Oh, I wouldn't worry about publicists at all. I don't know if he's gonna let me. I don't know. I think my time might be up. All right, I'll close. In short, there are a lot of scammers out there who are eager to sink their claws into your book. Be careful with whom you trust. And just know that if you're careful with the services you select and and are willing to learn new skills, you can self-publish effectively. You do not need people ripping you off. Okay. Alright. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell to turn on all notifications. And join me in the Catacombs Café every Tuesday at 12 p.m. I would love to see you. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Alright, cool. Best of luck until night. Okay, I gotta go now. Let's see. Some of these scammers have unfortunately been around for a long time and have grown quite adept at what they do. The biggest red flag to look for is the flow of money. Publishers make their money off of working for you, not from you. Correct. 100% Acheron. In fact, I might even close on that. Yep, I'm gonna close on that because that's exactly correct. Farewell, everybody. Godspeed. Whatever. However I should close this. I need to come up with a good closing line. Don't forget to review my books on Amazon because mommy needs it, okay? Especially book 1, The Wolves Beneath Paris. You can get a free download of it by scanning the QR code in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It's listed under the free books section. You can't miss it. And if you do miss it, just message me. I'll give it to you, man. Farewell, everyone. Bye, Billy. Bye, everybody. Au revoir.